Now, guys, I got to think that winning a Super Bowl just back in 2018 has got to be worth something. But this has been a very difficult year for Doug Pederson, for these Eagles. And Dan Graziano, I wonder if the way this quarterback situation has played out this season, if that, despite his accolades, despite his Super Bowl in a Philadelphia town that was dying for such a win for so many decades, could it eventually cost Pederson his job?
It's certainly part of the conversation, right? I mean, Carson Wentz has had a major letdown year when a lot of pressure was on him and on Doug Pederson to deliver in adverse circumstances, all the injuries they've had, et cetera, and they didn't do it. And the failure of Wentz this year, if that's laid at Pederson's feet, that's certainly a point against him as the organization decides whether to make a change at the head coaching position. So we will see. Jeffrey Lurie's the kind of owner that will take everything into consideration, that likely won't make his decision until after the regular season is over, which is in 5 days. And so this time next week, we'll have a better sense of what's going on. But Pederson obviously is trying to make sure everyone knows, and that's the general public, that's his current employer, that's potential future employers. Hey, I know what I'm doing. I won a Super Bowl not long ago. Don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Okay, so Jeff Saturday, does that save his job?
His job shouldn't be in jeopardy anyway. Like you're talking about, we're prisoners of the moment and a snapshot in time that his job should be up. I mean, listen, it's been a bad year. You got an offensive line that's decimated with injury. You have your $100 million player that, by the way, the owner, GM, and you all agreed on was going to be your franchise, who has struggled. You ultimately push on and move on to Jalen Hurts, who's given you a spark of some sort. But again, they beat the Saints, but they're not winning games. They're still struggling in different pieces and parts. Doug Pederson didn't just forget how to coach. A few years ago, they won the Super Bowl. You just saw him getting Gatorade dumped on him, right? Last year, they battled back to make it. I'm just not in for a snapshot. You have a bad season, all of a sudden you're going to fire this guy. I mean, do decisions need to be made? And he just addressed them. Absolutely, they do. But his job being in jeopardy, I think, is a ridiculous conversation.
Here's the thing, though. You're 4-10-1, Marcus. And when that happens, the discussion comes up. He has to at least address that. And that seems like what he's doing. But what do you think?
Yeah, he has to address it, but it shouldn't be a damn question whether Doug Pederson is back as the coach. Man, what are we talking? Like, I played for the Dallas Cowboys, guys. It's been a long time since a Super Bowl happened there. It's been a long time, a real long time. Like, and for a coach to prove just 2 years ago that he could win a Super Bowl and then take a team that's limping throughout the season and be able to get them into the playoffs last year. And we talking about his job after a season. Like, but then how long? But let me just ask you this then.
How long does that buy him? Because they're still 4-10-1. They still had the situation with Wentz and Hurts this year. People would argue that he hung on to him too long.
Hey, Ryan Smith, let me ask you a question. Who's the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys?
Mr. McCarthy. Go ahead.
That's how long a damn Super Bowl buy you. Okay? Listen,
That's
this is
exactly
not
right.
rocket science for anybody out there. Doug Pederson is a good head coach. You don't let them out the door unless you want to outsmart yourself and think you're going to bring somebody else in to return Carson Wentz to MVP. Oh, wait, let me stop that. Carson Wentz was playing like MVP with Doug Pederson as the head coach. Like, what are we talking about? Let this season be an anomaly, okay? Because it is. You had a quarterback that regressed by his own doing, because it did get better when Jalen Hurts got into that offense, by the way. And let's see what happens next year when they're healthy, and if he can get Carson or Jalen to be their starter and get them prepared to play. And then we'll start having the conversation down the road. But to ask how long a Super Bowl buy you, or to ask if Doug Pederson's job should be on the line, hell no. I played for the Cowboys. It's been a quarter century, like Stephen A. remind y'all of all the time.
Dan, I know you want to jump in. Go ahead.
Just two quick things. One, Jeffrey Lurie replaced Andy Reid some years ago with Chip Kelly. That didn't go well. So he knows that you can't just move on from a coach. You have to know who you're getting to replace him. That's an important part of this process. And if the Eagles did move on from Doug Pederson, I wouldn't be surprised if other teams looking for head coaches were to interview him for those spots.
Oh, yeah, he would be snapped up quick, I have to think.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.